Hello, everyone. Happy holidays, and welcome to another great edition of Bring It in the House podcast show, where we spotlight musicians, entertainers, artists, and leaders. Get your meal, and we have another fantastic meal for you. We're talking about an award winning author and illustrator from the big state of Texas. Let's give it up for Mr. Robert Paul Jr.
Thanks for having me.
You are very welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. How's your day? Everything's going good for you?
Pretty good. It's been a great day. It's just been a very busy day. There's lots of planning involved. I have quite a few events to
Yeah.
plan, and that's why doing some drawing and setting some things up. So there's lots of calls and illustration projects, so the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so exciting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he is a renowned author, and I'm not talking about recording artist. We're going to see some of his images in a minute here, and he's an illustrator. Congratulations. What are you part of? Are you originally from Houston?
No, I'm not. I'm from the Caribbean. I'm from St. Thomas.
That's what.
I was born in St. Lucia, raised in St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Oh my God. And that's what I thought. I was like, man, I just said Houston. But then when you started to talk, I heard a different accent. I was like, he's not
Yeah.
originally from, no, you're not originally from Houston. So again, congratulations on all your success. You are an illustrator of an NAACP Image Award winning book. Wow. How cool is that? So tell us, what book is that, Robert?
So it's called Cookies and Milk. It's a story. Basically, it's a story of um, Sean Amos, the son of famous Amos, and basically it's a story of his life, how they started the cookies. I don't think the cookies are named. Famous Amos got sold.
Mhm.
Forgot who they got sold to. I don't know if it was Nabisco or somewhere they got sold to,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I don't think they're able to kind of put the name in the story because of being sold. But the story is about a a cookie called Sunset Cookies is what they're calling it in the story. And
Mhm.
then basically it's the whole story. It's how it became, some of the fun and hijinks he had with his friends along the
Mhm.
way, with his dad, and just kind of discovering and creating the cookies from scratch. And yeah, it's really an awesome story. It's well told. The illustrations go really well with the text, so it's something you can follow along with really well as you go. As if you're a child or you're an adult, so I definitely recommend that book. It's
So
called
it's go ahead. It's called
Cookies and Milk.
Cookies and Milk. Everyone, check it out. Cookies and Milk, available wherever books are sold. I can go to Amazon and get it right now. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Oh man, that sounds like a good book for my granddaughter. I'm gonna have to get that one for sure. For sure. So, how do you feel when you receive the news that you're the winner, illustrator of the NAACP Image Awards winning book? When you received that news, Robert, how did you feel?
it was great. You know what's funny about that? Um, when I first got the book, or first got the offer to do the book,
Hmm.
I said that to myself. I was like, "Watch this book win an award." That's what I said. I was like, "Watch this book win an award. I bet he was going to win an award." And then, sure enough, um, I was told that it was, a NAACP Image Award winner. It's like, dang. It was great. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was great news. It's great news to be involved in something like that.
I
It was great to
know.
have that kind of award associated with your name. And it's just a wonderful thing. It's really, really, really fun, and it's great to be able to talk about it and kind
Hmm.
of the process. It was a longer book to illustrate. There was a lot going on in the book. It was a story that required a lot of drawings because it's a chapter book. When you're illustrating something that's a chapter book, it requires a lot more illustrations. Drawing in black and white, versus drawing in color can sometimes be a challenge. Um, and yeah, I mean, overall, it was I would say it was a fun experience to be able to articulate myself mostly in black and white, and
Hmm.
kind of use a little bit more of a sophisticated approach to illustration. Not saying that what I had before wasn't sophisticated, but it was, in my mind, a little different. I usually like to stick very cartoon based with my illustrations.
Mm-hmm.
For this book, I had kind of a hybrid. You know, it was cartoony. It would have a nice like animated style to it, but I stuck a little bit more to realism, and that's because there were historical figures in the book. And when
Mm-hmm.
you have that, it's nice to have a little bit of realism involved in that.
Yeah, I bet. How long did it take you to complete the project?
You know what? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember how long exactly. But
Okay.
I would say, I would say that book took about 6 months. I would say 6 months. Usually that's my average, about 6 months. Some books are shorter, some books are a little longer. But yeah, I would say 6 months.
6 months. So how did you get it to be nominated for the NAACP? How was that process like?
People do that, people, they just, so there's a committee that does it, and
Uh-huh.
someone nominates it, someone on that committee or someone that's within that group, they
I
nominate it, and
get
it just becomes part of that consideration. And you just never know, you never know how that's going to happen. I mean, even with like Oscars, like someone that's in that
Yeah,
group
yeah.
nominates, for whatever reason. And
Like the Grammys. The Grammys is like that
yeah,
too. The
Grammys,
Grammy
yeah.
Awards. Your peers. They call
Yeah.
them your peers. That's how you get nominated by the committee. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. So
That's
it's
that's
just
so
just
cool.
it's kind of the same process, and
Mhm.
you just don't know. You never know, if it's going to be yours, if it's going to be a different project or what. And it was definitely really really cool to see this. Cool to see that that took place.
Yes. Yes. And this happened for you. Was that last year? Or what year was that?
No, this happened in man, was it 2022
Okay.
or 2023? One of those years.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
been so many things. So, because especially in that last like 5 years, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things have happened. So I try to figure out the dates.
I get it. I get it. So how did you know, did you start like writing at a very young age, like in grade school, or did just kind of where did the spark come from?
So primarily I illustrate, but I'm also a writer.
Mm-hmm.
And then writing has been something I've done for a long time as well. I've been writing poetry and writing short stories since I was a little kid. Since I
Mm-hmm.
was
Okay.
maybe 11, I would say 10 or 11 or so, I was writing. Um, and I always enjoyed telling just like just writing fiction, just
Fiction.
writing lots of fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I would say whatever I illustrated, a lot of the times I like to attach a little story to it,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of like text or anything that kind of helps the story kind of go along. So I suppose I've been doing it for quite some time, but yeah, I mean, it's been quite some time, but I think illustration, I've been doing that for forever. I've been doing that since I was about 3 years old. I've been drawing, and I used to draw. I remember my grandmother, when she used to take me to church with her, I used to draw in the margins of my children's Bible book, like all the way through, and then throughout the whole book. And I don't think she wasn't very happy about that when I did it. But
Yeah.
as time went on, the drawings got better and better, and yeah, it started to, kind of capture the eye of people. Even like my friends in that church used
Mm-hmm.
to see the drawings and be like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And my teacher, the Bible school teacher, would be like, "What are you
What are you
doing?
doing?
Well, this is good. What are you doing?"
Yes. Kind of help us understand. Now, an illustrator, would you say that it works sort of like when people do those like mules or do the what do they call it on the walls, what it on the sidewalks?
Murals, yeah. Like murals or any kind of drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's the same type of thing. I mean those are a little bit more what do you call it? There's a little bit more painted. So I mean they could be painted or they could be done with what do you call it?
My
Well,
airbrush.
spray paint or traditional painting.
Uh-huh.
Or I mean, they can even be done. You can even do a mural this way too. You can draw it on your iPad, and then you
Mm-hmm.
can get it, or you can actually just like paste it up on
Yes.
the wall that you want, like in sections. So those are they're, like almost like wallpaper. So I mean, there's all
Mm.
kinds of ways to do murals, but
Mhm.
that's one of the ways you do. I mean, it's all illustrated pieces, just a medium, you know. It's just a like for instance, this wall right here is just a way of it's just like a piece of paper, you know.
Mhm.
It's just a canvas, you know.
The
You can just
canvas. Yeah.
however, yeah, it's all the same thing. It's just a canvas.
Do you mind if we show a few of your paintings or your drawings?
Sure,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. So here we go. We got a couple of few here. Kind of tell us a little bit about each picture. Okay.
Okay, so this drawing is from a book illustrated called Ninja Nate's. This one was with Simon and Schuster a few years ago. And in this book, this is the book about a little boy who struggles with he's an amputee. So he struggles with not having his other leg. He had his leg was lost in an accident, and throughout the book he's masking with the mask of Ninja Nate, trying to hide behind that persona so that he doesn't have to deal with his leg. So throughout the book he's doing that, and as he goes along throughout the story he comes to terms with it, and eventually he realizes that everyone everyone was with him, everyone uh, cared about him, wanted to support him the whole time. So it wasn't really necessary for him to do this. But sometimes when we live in our own little world,
Mm-hmm.
we don't tend to see the outside and see the people that are actually there to support us. It's
Yes.
almost like when you focus on the worst things, that's all
Mhm.
you see. You
Yeah,
know,
that's it.
it's like you ever had let's say this, you ever had a rental and then the rental was let's say it was like a Kia or something, right?
Yeah.
And you never looked at Kias on the
Yeah.
road, but
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden you got a rental that's a Kia. You're seeing Kias everywhere because that's
Where?
what you think.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
what you center your mind around is what you're going to see every day because that's what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to show you within that, if you put that image back up,
Uh-huh.
that little girl is my daughter, the one in the
Ooh,
pink.
she is
I
so
like to,
pretty. The
I
one
like to,
that's with the
yeah,
pink, right? Mm-hmm.
yeah. I always like to put her as Easter eggs in the books, especially when books involve a lot of children, a lot of playing and fun. I put
Mm-hmm.
her in those books, so that's her in that book as a character next to him.
So cute. So cute. And then there's this. I thought it was so beautiful. Oh gosh.
That is a special project. That is one of my in-house projects that I'm developing. And this story is called The Pico Chronicles. It is a story that is near and dear to my heart. It's an adventure story. I can't speak entirely about it because it's a
Yes.
story that I'm going to, take and pitch and create things from.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a near and dear story to my heart.
Yeah.
There's a lot of action, suspense, comedy. There's so much involved in the story, and it takes
Mhm.
place in like a fanciful, um, just a fanciful, almost steampunk-esque world. So it's a cool story. I really enjoy that one.
Alrighty.
This
Ta-da.
is, of course, Martin Luther King.
Mhm.
This was a little challenge I had with a friend of mine. We both wanted to draw together,
Mhm.
and she drew Martin Luther King, and I drew Martin Luther King, and we both posted on Martin Luther King Day with a
Mhm.
quote. And the quote was an unusual quote from him, not something that is in the mass media.
Yeah.
So I actually used the quote that about when he mentioned that he noticed the dream that he once had seems to have turned into a nightmare, and that's
Mhm.
what I posted about, and how he kind of saw things toward the end of his life versus in the middle of it. And not to say it was a negative thing that he wasn't negative, he
Yeah.
just became a little bit more of a realist. And
Realistic.
as being a realist, you're optimistic in a lot of ways, and he was definitely an optimistic man,
Yeah.
but he saw what the world was and what they were taking from what he was saying,
Mhm.
and he saw that it wasn't turning in the right direction. So
Mhm.
he took that and said what he had to say. It's a very he said one thing I quote from him. it's it's a cruel gesture to tell a man to pull himself up by his bootstraps when he has no boots.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's one of the things he said in that speech.
Yeah. Yeah. He was very deep. I love this right here. That's Kobe, right? And his daughter?
No, that's actually a an illustration. Do I have the book here? No, that book is called The Champ and Me.
Okay.
Um, that's a story about a little girl who, throughout the story, it's an interesting narrative where it's like it's a little girl who's going through this whole narrative. She's doing like a boxing sparring type thing where her dad is a trainer, and
Mm-hmm.
she's just boxing and just going through the whole thing. And then her dad is teaching her different things about knowing her worth, and trusting in God, and being kind to her mother, and just different things along the way throughout the boxing that she's doing. And she's talking about people that may be haters or people that may be supportive. So it's really a book about uplifting children and uplifting um brown children of that, brown or black children of that.
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
is a just a little image of throughout the book, or in the book, where he's hugging her and embracing her and just kind of showing her that he loves her.
Aww. And lastly,
There's this again. This is the Pico Chronicles.
okay.
This is a little snippet from that.
Mm-hmm.
I won't mention names of the characters because it's
Yeah.
something that I'm still developing.
Yeah.
But I will say that it's an adventure, and this is kind of a little snippet from that adventure.
All right. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And then, of course, I had pulled this
Oh
best-selling
yeah,
book list. Yay!
that was awesome. That was
Yeah.
a really big deal. Thanks for acknowledging that.
Yeah.
It became a USA Today bestseller
Mhm.
with When Black Girls Dream Big. Do I have it here? Let me have it here. Yeah, I have it here.
Yeah.
When Black Girls Dream Big. There it is right
Whoa.
here. The story. And
Mhm.
then also, this story was written by Tanisha Moore and illustrated by myself. And Angela Bassett did a wonderful write-up on this book as well, which was very well received. Said some nice things. Says Tanisha Moore's When Black Girls Dream Big is a book that allows its readers to see their beautiful selves depicted throughout its pages. So often as young people, we are told what we cannot be or cannot do. But these inspiring and hopeful words, combined with Robert Paul Jr.'s magnificently compelling illustrations, lets Black girls know each time they turn the page that all of their dreams are possible. And that's Angela Bassett. When she wrote that, I was
Oh,
really happy to hear that.
that's big. That's huge. That is
For sure.
huge.
I hung it on my wall.
I know. That is so cool, Robert. Congrats. Gosh. I'm just taken aback in a good way because I'm like, this young man has done so much. And
Appreciate
it
it.
seems, yeah, these last 5 years, it seems like you went to the next level, next level, next level. With
It's been a good 5 years. There've been some ups, there've been a few downs, but then sometimes when you go down, you end up going back up. So it's been awesome though. I really appreciated the last few years. There's been a lot of growth, which has been wonderful.
yes. As an illustrator, do clients reach out to you for requests, for their books, or how do you get that type of opportunities? Do they reach out to you, or you have a manager or someone to help you get those gigs?
So both. Sometimes I get clients that reach out to me directly. I mean, a lot of times the clients reach out to me directly for different things.
Mhm.
Um, I With an agent, yes, they've reached out to me. Reached out to my agent. I currently don't have an agent at this time. I had
Mhm.
an agent. I'm actually in between agents. I'm looking for a new one right now. But when I had my agent, they'd reach out to her all the time, and it was one of those things where the agent gets the work, and then presents it to me, and then I tell them whether or not I want to do the project. So it's cool like that. And then
Mhm.
also I receive a lot of projects as well,
Mhm.
just through my email. In
Yeah.
fact, it's funny because like I think this might have been a mistake, but the first ever book that I received with traditional publishing went straight to my email. It did, and I think it was something my agent sent out, but then they reached out directly to me. But I don't know. It was interesting that it didn't go. It didn't come through my agent.
Yeah.
So I messaged. I was like, hey, like they reached out to me through my email. Is that typical? And she was like, no, they should reach out to me.
Do
Yeah.
you have a preference? I mean, you're an author and an illustrator. Do you prefer to write or do you prefer to draw, or that you love them both the same?
I like them both. I mean, I would say I do prefer drawing. If you had to pick one, it would be
Mm-hmm.
drawing because that was my first way of communication
Okay.
with imagery. Because I mean, I couldn't write when I was drawing. I did not know how to read.
Mm,
So, I was 3 and I didn't know how to read yet. And I
yeah.
was drawing. And I can remember not knowing how to read. So
Yeah.
you look at words and you look at things and maybe you know what an A and a B is, but it's like you didn't know what it said. It was just I pretend I was reading. I'd be like, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't I
Yeah.
would pretend to read when I
Yeah.
was that age. But yeah, definitely it's definitely drawing. That was my first way of communication and reading. Not reading, but writing really just expanded that. I was able to tell stories with my drawings,
With your choice.
further than the illustrated story and more so the written story that, definitely complements it.
Yeah. What sets you apart from other illustrators? What would you say set you apart?
Sets me apart. I think everybody is set apart personally,
Yeah.
because everybody has a unique story to tell. Everybody has unique upbringing, and everybody's artistic penmanship is unique. I would say my artistic penmanship is unique because um, I can do a lot with very little lines. I don't spend a lot of time with a lot of sketching and back and forth. Just a swoop of a line, quick lines, quick gesture, and I can create something out of that. And also my life experience. My life experience is not like everybody else's, and everybody else's isn't like mine. And that's really what it is. Everybody's set apart. But for me, it's where I'm from the Caribbean. My life experiences, whether they be good things or things that aren't so great, are different from the rest of the other illustrators.
Mhm. Do you have a favorite or favorites, like other illustrators or authors that you kind of look up to, like a mentor?
Hmm. I have a lot. And I used to be able to say this very easily, this question, but as time has gone on, it's been harder and harder to say because I've met so many people over the years. Um, I think right now my mentor, I would say he's like been kind of like a big brother to me. I would say Keith Knight is his name.
Mhm.
He is a political cartoonist, and he created a show called Woke, which was on Hulu. It ran 2 seasons. I met him when I was 16 in the Virgin Islands. He came to visit from California as came down there to do some drawing shows, and my art teacher got me involved. Uh, Meeting him, and actually he took someone else's place on. If I hope I'm telling this right, but he took somebody else's place to do that event, and he came down and I met him. He gave me some books, and I think I stayed in touch with him just for a little while, and then when I was in college, we fell out of touch. And then a few years, maybe 5 years out of college, or no, how many years out of college? Sheesh, how many years out of college did I do? It might have been 8 years out of college. I
Mhm.
had reached back out to him, and we ended up talking again. And now I am, how many years am I out of college now? I am 12, 15, no, 12, 6. I don't know. It's more than 10. It's more, it's closer to 15 maybe. I don't know. Out of college. He we talk. Whenever I have a question about anything, illustration related, it's mostly I mostly have questions him about regarding the industry and
Mhm.
like how to shift and maneuver myself. Um, lately, and that's kind of what we've done. We've had that relationship where he kind of gives me help and knowledge in those areas.
That is so good. And everybody needs that. Everybody needs it. Robert, what's next for you?
What's next for me?
Yeah.
What is next for me? Well, I'm currently working on an app for special needs kids, special needs children. It's an illustrative app where I'm doing the illustrations on there,
Mm-hmm.
um, as with a illustration consulting firm, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it's an illustration house or consulting firm. I'm doing that right now. My company is has been brought on to work with that. And what else is there? I'm illustrating books still, illustrating and writing books, and I am teaching. I'm teaching, and I'm about to create a course at a university for concept art. So I'm doing a lot of that. I'm teaching university at university level, and I'm also doing caricatures. I'm doing a lot of that too. So I'm doing a lot of different art related things and creating.
Wow. Any
Yeah.
shout outs before you go, Robert?
Shout outs. What are the shout outs? Wow, I didn't even think about shout outs. That was good. Well, shout outs. I'd like to say, oh yes, there's a book that's coming out. Um, and I want to shout it out. Let's go through. I'll actually go right to it right here. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Um, and I think this book is going to be very different from a lot of books I've done. It's a lot. It's a lot more. I wouldn't say personal, but it's a book that dives deep into um, the psyche of a person.
Mm-hmm.
It explores abuse. It explores um, understanding how to rise up from the ashes um, when you are put in a bad situation or kind of cut down in kind of the height of abuse in
Mm-hmm.
any way, physical, verbal, anything. And the book is called An Ember of Light. And that's a book that's about to come out, a book that's currently, well, I just finished developing, and it's about to come out, and it's by Andrea Rogers.
Okay.
She's the author, and I am the illustrator of that. And this is a book that is not with any large publisher. This one is a self-published book. It's a self-funded book, but it's a book that I think is really important and needs to get out there. And it's called um, what do you call it? Ember of Light.
Ember of Light. Any last words of encouragement to anyone that's trying to pursue a career that's similar to the field that you're in? Any last words?
For sure, for sure. I would say that don't just do what the mass is telling you to do. Follow your gut, follow God, follow what you know is right, because everybody's path is not your own. Um, I did not take the conventional path when I became an illustrator. I did a lot of different things that most people would not do or complain about. Um, when it comes to doing lots of different jobs, I was a school bus mechanic as a teenager. I swept school buses. I was a busser. I worked in a shoe store. I did all kinds of different things growing up. But then, even as an illustrator, like I illustrated machinery and animated machinery for a while. And then, when you do those kinds of things, what they do is they teach you skills that you never knew you had. Um, and I realized how technical I can be, and um, how those things can kind of move over or transfer over illustrative world
Mhm.
or doing your own animation. So I learned a lot of amazing skills because I decided to step outside of the box versus just stay in my lane.
Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up again for award-winning, that's NAACP award-winning author and illustrator, Mr. Robert Paul Jr. He's in the house. I will let you go. Thank you so much for your time. Much
Yes, sir.
continued success. We love you. We'll see you next time. We'll bring it in the house.